A great day to all delegates and my fellow presenters at this conference. I am very excited to be here, so thank you very much to the conference committee for having me. And please accept my advance congratulations for successfully organizing this momentous event. So, today I am going to present my study on the barriers and opportunities in the engagement and productivity of educators in the area of research, which I believe we can all relate to. So let me start with the rationale of the study. Research is so important it has been included in Philippine HEI's trifocal functions and in the accreditation process of academic programs. However, despite the importance of it, the production of quality research among educators seems to have remained a challenge with most HEIs falling short in this area, specifically in terms of research engagement. I don't know with PUP Manila and with the institution where other presenters are affiliated, but in my discussions with our colleagues from various HEIs in the country, research is really the area where they are experiencing difficulty. Additionally, in my search for studies, I have observed that there is a dearth of studies in this topic, provided that majority of the studies in the past, particularly in Philippine context, were about challenges in research writing, and there was none on the aspect of engagement, particularly uh, conference presentation and research publication. So this makes this research potentially the first and only that has delved into this topic in Philippine context. And this has motivated me to push through with it. So for the objectives, through this study, I was able to determine the primary reasons for why Filipino educators have limited participation in research conferences and outputs in terms of publication in research journals. Additionally, the significant differences in their perception towards predetermined barriers, financial difficulty, awareness towards conferences and journals, and lack of confidence when grouped according to their demographic profile have been determined. However, due to the limited time that we have and the comprehensiveness of this study, I won't be able to present the findings of the significant differences, so my apologies for that. Okay, so moving on, for the methodology, I have utilized concurrent mixed methods research design. Basically, I have utilized a questionnaire as well as structured interviews involving 300 respondents who were randomly selected. Reliability was positive 0.87 based on Cronbach's alpha result, while other details are shown on this table, or on this slide rather. Okay, so let us now proceed with the results. As presented on this table, it is very clear that educators face financial challenges in participating in research conferences and having their work published. This is due to costly registration and publication fees, limited budgets, and a lack of awareness about funding opportunities. However, it is a fact that there are numerous free of charge conferences available, including what we are having today. And there is also a plethora of free of charge or free to publish research journals out there. So, this indicates that limited finances are not really a significant barrier or obstacle for educators, but rather their lack of awareness about these certain opportunities, because being unaware leads them to believe that substantial financial investment is necessary for conference participation and research publication, despite the availability of cost-free alternatives. Now, when it comes to their perception towards lack of awareness and lack of confidence in research engagement, It was determined that educators do not perceive them as barriers. They are confident in the quality of their research papers and they believe that they are likely to be accepted for presentation and publication. This indicates that educators are willing and are capable of presenting their research and having it published if only they are given the opportunity. All right, so this is where it gets more exciting. These are now the results of the structured interviews that I did. So, um, through the interviews, I have discovered that limited research engagement is also due to time constraints caused by heavy workloads and personal responsibilities at home, which are backed up by a lot of studies. There is, however, another barrier identified in maximizing the research publication of Filipino educators. This is the systemic bias of HEIs in favor of journals indexed in Web of Science and Scopus as expressed by a number of the respondents. This policy of HEIs actually results in demotivated educators given that most of the top tier journals indexed in Scopus and WAS require higher publication fees and have tighter competition. And this results in demotivation because first, we have to understand that not everyone has the financial capability, and second, not all research meets the very high standards of top journals, and we have to accept that we have different levels of intelligence and skills. Therefore, there are papers that are really not as good as others. Additionally, this policy rejects the existence of other reputable indexing databases. In fact, in an article by Elsevier, which is the owner of Scopus, other indexing databases were also listed as reputable. The article has included DOAJ, PubMed Central, and Medline. So, if Elsevier, the owner of Scopus, is telling us that there are other reputable indexing databases apart from Scopus, then why do many HEIs limit the publication of their faculty members to Scopus and WAS index journals? It doesn't make sense really. Now, if HEIs will argue that it's just a guideline or a policy to ensure reputation, then the more questionable the policy is because research is not about who is the best. It's not about who is rank 1, who is rank 2, so on and so forth. Research is all about being able to contribute to the field, and it is not a competition where we have to rank everything. Furthermore, this policy of being biased in favor of Scopus will make educators vulnerable to predatory journals, as hundreds of predatory journals have been found indexed in Scopus over uh, the past few years. And this only means that basing on the journal's indexation is not enough to tell the legitimacy of a journal, which is the opposite to what many HEIs are suggesting. It is therefore clear that this policy or practice is something that we must correct in the future. Okay, so lastly, in reference to the sources relied on by educators to obtain information about professional development opportunities and research, it seems that there is a heavy emphasis on research engagement opportunities that require payment. Several research directors, deans, and professional organizations often promote paid conferences and research journals among their faculty members, which displays the practice of commodification of research in the Philippines. While another explanation for it is probably because HEIs and professional organizations also lack the knowledge about research conferences that charge nothing, as well as research journals that are fully funded. But then again, maybe they are just using research for business purposes. Finally, for my recommendations, I believe that there is a need for a massive awareness campaign to inform educators about research engagement opportunities that do not require or require less financial resources. This action, I believe, could potentially result in more motivated educators towards research. I also recommend reallocation of the research budget of HEI to CHED so that it could finance research conferences instead of awarding grants to individual faculty members. I actually have more very important recommendations, but with the limited time we have, I cannot discuss them anymore. Nevertheless, sooner or later, this research will be published in a journal, so I hope that you will find time to read it. So, this ends my presentation. I'd like to extend my gratitude to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Open University System and the Sukhothai Thammasat Open University in Thailand. I would also like to commend all of the members of the committee for your dedication in promoting research on an international scale. Have a great day, everyone.